Hey, GEG Tennessee, welcome back to GEG Tennessee Group. As you can see, we have got the link here in the bottom for you, the bit.ly here for you, the bit.ly// capital GEG Tennessee. That is all in caps 71420. All right, so today we're gonna do a little housekeeping to start with and a couple introductions. After we do that, by your request, we're going to talk about content creation a little bit today. Talk about how you can be making content for the classroom, especially in this remote situation when we don't know what exactly is going to be happening. Then we're going to talk about using Google Meets maybe to deliver that content and to meet with your students remotely. And then we have with us Mr. Maury Wood today that's going to be talking to us about YouTube, and then we're going to go through our Q&A. So that's kind of our agenda for today. We'll make this short and sweet, but informative for you. And as you have questions or anything that you want to add there to the YouTube link, we will bring those in and we'll try to answer those questions. So if you got questions, go ahead and be asking those as we go. All right. So first off, our introductions. This is, again, our website, our Facebook group, Twitter group, and our Google group. Go ahead and sign up for all of those so we can be communicating with you properly. You can just click on any of those and it will bring that up for you guys. Next, last time we talked about captains. So Wanda and I can't do this alone. I'm not afraid to admit that. Mari, we are excited to have you with us today. We need more people out there like Mari. So we need help. Okay, I have no other ways to put it. We need help because there's too many of you. I mean, there really is. So we need empower captains. We need inspire captains. We need share captains. We need learn captains. We need all of you. You can click on the green button here. That'll take you to the Google form. Fill it out. That way you can come and you can start helping us out. So quick, we'll let everybody introduce themselves right quick and what we do.
I'm Wanda Terrell. I'm the Director of Technology in the Lakeland School System outside of Memphis.
All right, and I'm Lance Key. I'm the Instructional Technology Specialist here in Putnam County, Tennessee, and Cookeville.
And I'm Maury Wood. I'm the Technology Coordinator at West Hills Elementary School in Lewisburg in Marshall County.
Right, and just a couple of commercials for you right quick. Most of you have already seen this, but we have decided to take the Google Summit virtual this year. I know, Mari, you presented a couple of years for us ago there. We usually have 500 to 600 educators there for the Google Summit. There's the link to the website. You guys can sign up there. We have some awesome presenters coming for free because it is virtual this year. So if you want to see some really great presentations, come and join us. Sign up there on the website. So we're going to jump right into this because we want to make sure we give Mr. Maury plenty of time. So we're going to talk about content creation. The tools and apps that we're going to look at today are the ones that you see on the screen here. And I'm going to turn the screen over to Miss Wanda, and she's going to talk about her first one. Miss Wanda, is your screen shared?
It will be. Just a second.
Okay. Sorry about that. All right. I think I saw it pop in there. There you go.
You got it? All right. So the first one I'm going to talk about is Screencastify. So Screencastify is a screencasting service. Lives in the cloud. I usually access it through a Chrome extension. I'm lucky enough that my school district has purchased the enterprise version, but there is a version available for free. Has some limitations on it. But it's really so simple that you just click the extension. We'll see if my computer behaves right now. And up pops the opportunity for you to record your screen. You can record a tab. You can record your desktop. You can include your webcam or not. You can even move that webcam around. The reasons why we like it, it saves directly to Google Drive. Our students are in a walled garden environment. So when they do their Screencastifies, it goes right into their Google Drive. And we know that it's within our walled garden, which means they can't share outside of the district. We use it in a wide variety of ways. Teachers use it to flip their classes. Students use it to demonstrate mastery of different things. So just a great little tool there, Screencastify.
Awesome. Thank you there, Wanda. I'm going to go back and share my screen now. So Wanda's talking to you about Screencastify, and yeah, it was probably the first kid to the block, not going to lie. But, there's too many limits on it for me, Wanda. Why are you going to
That's
restrict
all
me?
right.
Yeah,
I'm lucky. I'll take the paid version when I get it.
I'm in my district, we just can't afford it, and I only get what 5 minutes. And guys, you guys have seen me. I talk way too much as it is. 5 minutes is just not enough for me to make a video. Mari, maybe I need to hire you for my editing, but 5 minutes is not enough. So I had to go find a different tool that would do similar things, and it's better in my opinion, but that's okay. So I use a little program called Loom. Okay, that's this little guy right here. And it's an extension, just like Wanda was talking about. When I click on that extension Loom, which you can get this at the Chrome Web Store, you'll see right here is where I would normally pop up. Right now, you're seeing my wall from my dock on my other camera. There you go. Because this camera is being taken so y'all can see my beautiful face here. Okay. I can choose the size that I want my little circle to be there. So depending on how big I want that to be, there you go. And here's a secret. I'm making some videos for Google right now, and they're using Loom. Don't tell anybody I said that. All right. Over to the side, you can see I've got these different features here. I can record to my screen and my camera. I can record screen only, or I could just record me in my full glory, whatever I want. Full desktop or current tab. I'm going to hit start recording. It's going to ask me, okay, which screen are we recording? Select it, hit share, and then it should give me a countdown. All right, 3, 2, 1, and hello, everybody. You're looking at my wall right now at my house and listening to me and looking at my screen. So I'm going to hit stop sharing, and then you're going to see it's going to take me out to Loom's website. Similar to Screencastify on the free version, you can trim this video. So if I needed to stop and start it in different places, one thing that my kids kind of like, I catch them doing this sometimes, is they will speed up the frame rate so they can listen to it faster and make me sound like a chipmunk. I really don't care as long as they get it. You can download this thing as an MP4. You can rename it right here. You can invite people. Again, you can trim it, copy the link right there. All those things. The one downfall that it's got is it doesn't store to your Google Drive, but they give you unlimited videos and unlimited storage. So it's one extra step because you have to come in here, find your video, hit copy link. But wait, there's more. So if I go to my videos, you will see every video that I made will be sitting right in here. So one that I made that I'm going to show you in a minute, Mr. Clay who codes his slides Chrome extension.
Go ahead and jump in there and do that while you got the screen.
Yes, ma'am. All right. So while I got it, I'll jump in there and do that. One thing that you can see is I can actually see who has viewed my videos if you make them log in. So I tell my students, you have to log into Loom when you go in because I want to see if you're watching my videos. So I've had 33 or 34 people. Somebody watched my video twice, evidently. There you can go, 4 people. All right, so this is a video I made. I pushed it out. I know that people are watching it. So because I'm talking too much, Wanda's saying, hey, speed it up.
Well, I do want to point out one thing about Loom that when I have used it, it's one thing that I really like is the ability to password protect that video.
Yes.
So that even though it's out there, people would have to have that password to get to it. I think that's a very good feature.
That is, and I'm using a neat little trick to be able to do this, and it's locked me into my slides. So let me just jump out of that right quick. So, all right, now I'm going to show you the next one. Is record the slides. And this is a Chrome extension, even though it really kind of works inside of Chrome. Clay's a friend of mine. He actually is in the process of rewriting it and going to make it an add-on, I do believe. But you just go to Chrome's web store, or you click on that icon that's in there. I think I hyperlinked it if I did my job right. Yes, I did. And you can click right there on that, and it will get you that extension. What that does is, after it loads, you will see my little camera right there. Right by Wanda's face, I see my camera. I click on the camera, and now it brings me up a video. Again, you are looking at my wall. If I didn't have this going on, then you can see that. I hit the record button, and now I can do a presentation. So I'm talking through my presentation. You can see me moving around, doing all that, and I press OK. And you're going to see this slide right into my presentation here in a minute. The other thing that it does, just like Screencastify, is it records it or saves it in the cloud into a folder, so you can get it there. So my video will eventually come in and it'll be there in Wanda's way. I'm going to go ahead and give you the screen, Wanda, and you hit stop share again, didn't you, Wanda?
I did. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. That's all right. All right.
All right. So I'm going to
There you
talk a little bit about Google Slides since we're talking about Google Slides. We all know that Google Slides is great for presentations. I mean, that's what we've grown up on, right? I like using Google Slides for other things as well. One of the things I like to do is make newsletters with that. And this is a session that I actually did this morning. If you want to, you can grab this link, bit.ly/interact-news, and it takes you to this single Google slide deck where it shows a lot of different ways that you can use Google Slides by combining a lot of these different tools into a nice interactive communication tool. So Google Slides, the Swiss Army knife of Google tools. And kind of along those lines, I'm going to go ahead and do Google Drawings while I'm here, just because I've got the screen and I'm just not going to give it back. So
fine then.
Google Drawings has a lot of the same tools, particularly when it comes to the different drawing tools. Drawings, ha, ha, ha. Okay. If you want to do something that has a transparent background and you want that drawing to happen, Google Drawings is your go-to. If I'm just laying out something that I know I'm going to print, I will usually use Google Slides. If I'm trying to make a fancy logo or whatever image, if I want a transparent background, I'm going to use Google Drawing. You can also access Google Drawings from inside of Google Docs. You can go Insert Drawing, and it will pull in a blank Google Drawing canvas that you can draw into. And when you click out of it, it goes right into your Google Doc. I actually prefer using the full Google Drawing because you get access to some more tools in there. But one of the things that you can do, so if I came in and I were to draw something in the full Google Drawings, I could come in here and I could copy the whole thing. So I could use all of the fancy tools. I can select everything and copy it. And I could go over to Google Drawings and say, insert drawing, and I could paste. And now I've got that Google Drawing with all of my fancy tools, even though the fancy tools don't exist in there. So there's a lot of really cool things inside of Drawings, and it just feels fun. You know, kids, if you tell them we're going to do Google Drawings today, they're like, drawing? Yay! But you can take that and make it into all kinds of lessons using graphic organizers. The opportunities are endless. I just love it.
All right, and I committed the immortal sin. I apologize, people. I did not share the presentation with anyone with the link, so that is fixed now. I apologize for that. So you should be able to get to the presentation now. I kept wondering. I only see Wanda's head here. What's going on with that? I was like, oh my gosh. All right, so the next one we're going to talk about is Book Creator. And I just realized I left HyperDocs off earlier. Wanda, if you want to talk about HyperDocs in a second, you can, or I will. I love them. So Book Creator, I'll show you guys a couple of examples of Book Creator. First off, this was a project that a teacher had her students do. So, hello, kitty.
Yeah, every day.
That's okay. I'll get my dog in a minute. My thought process behind this is when we're in this remote learning situation, you know, we've got to really engage students in the content. We've got to get them doing stuff. And when I talk to teachers all the time, I remind them, you guys got your degree. Why are you doing so much work when we should be making our students do the work? And I bet Mari's going to talk about that today with his kids. They're the ones that should be doing the work. So this teacher had them do a presentation on biomes, and she gave them the options. Okay, you can use Google Drawings, you can use Google Slides, you can use Book Creator, you can use, she gave them this whole list of options. You can make a presentation, screencastify, whatever you want, and just said, go, do it. So this is a book that they made over biomes. As you can see, this is about biomes, and then we get to what is a biome. This is one of the types of biomes. I tried saying these names the other days, and the southerner in me just messes it all up. So I'm just going to let you look and read yourself. All right. So, and all kinds of information they got. So I was talking with this teacher. She said, back 5 years ago when I was teaching this class, I had a worksheet for each one of these biomes. I gave them the worksheet and they filled it out, and they took a test on it. She said, and they just really didn't like it. She said, but now that I moved it to like project-based learning, to where they get to pick, number one, what they do, but number two, they can just go in there and create and do all this stuff. They really get into it. I mean, this kid spent hours and hours and hours on this book. I'm like, oh my gosh. So another one, I'm having trouble getting this one to load. It's Pete the Cat. I apologize. Y'all need to hear Pete the Cat because it's the cutest thing in the world. But Pete, this little girl who read Pete the Cat, she drew all the pictures for what she thought it would be, and then she read the book to you. Awesome book. What's that? Pete, this little girl. Oh, I'm getting feedback. I'm sorry. All right. And then last, this is a teacher. She created this during her remote learning situation. So you can look through and see what she did there. So to get to Book Creator, it's really easy. You can Google it, or you can just type in app.bookcreator.com, app.bookcreator.com. Hit enter. And the first time that you'll sign in, of course, sign in with Google. You'll want to do that. But the first time you sign in, it's going to ask if you're a teacher or student. I tell everybody to say you're a teacher, because then you get 30 free books. So you can see one that I created yesterday. We were using kindergarten paper and was showing it how to draw on it and all that. So I'm going to create a new book. The really cool thing about Book Creator, and I'm going to hustle through this because I know we don't have much time, is there's really only 2 buttons used the whole time. And that's why it can be used from the womb to the tomb. Okay. It doesn't matter if you're, 2 or 3 years old, or if you're 70, 80 years old. I've got a friend in Sumner County, Ben Bruce. He loves plants and stuff like that. He's making Book Creator books out of leaves. I'm like, okay, whatever makes you happy. You have 2 buttons though, this plus button and the I button. Plus means I want to add something. The I button means I've added something and I want to inspect it, okay, or I want to get the information on it. So I'm gonna hit the plus, and what do I want to add? So here's my comics choices I got there. Here's my medias. This is my choice here. I want to take a picture again of my wall and my cords here. That is terrible. I shouldn't have that many cords, but for you techie people, I'm sure you do too. And it will bring my picture straight into here. There you go. There's my hand. All right, but this is our cover page, so we probably need a background. So with nothing selected, hit the I, and you can select your background. So it'll give you comic backgrounds, recent backgrounds, just a solid color if you want a solid color. Paper, different types of paper. So that's where I got my kindergarten paper that you saw yesterday. Music. So for our music people, we'll throw some music people in there. Our music, what do you call that, Wanda? You're a music person. Charts, is that it?
Staff.
Staff, thank you. Okay, that's the treble clef, right?
That is.
I get a score today. All right. So now I'm gonna hit the plus sign. If I want to come in here and I want to add notes or something to it, I can hit the pen tool. And now I can draw all over this guy, whatever, notes. I know that's not notes. Okay, but it also has a new feature that I'm kind of excited about, because as y'all can see, my drawing there is kind of bad. If you come in here and you hit the pen tool, it now has the auto recognition tool. So if I'm trying to draw like something, you see up top, I was trying to guess what I was drawing. I was drawing a bunny rabbit there, just so you know. Bam, bunny rabbit. Look how good I drew that. All right, so do all that. You can put videos in there. You can do all kinds of other cool stuff, get drawings, all that. The cool thing is, once you get finished, so I know we're Google Classroom people, how do we turn this guy in? At the bottom of the screen here, we have the share button. You know your district's rules better than I do. You can hit this publish to the web. It'll give you a link. They can turn in Google Classroom that link. If they've got sensitive data in there and you don't want them to do that, ebook, you can open it up on iDevices, things like that, or you can hit print and print it as a PDF. If it's got video or audio in it, it will smush it and it will just be an image, but they can still turn it in and look at it. So Book Creator, one of my favorite tools. Check it out, app.bookcreator.com. Wanda, I'm giving you the screen back.
All right, so I'm going to show a little bit about Jamboard. So Jamboard, you can actually have the Jamboard, which is a really expensive piece of equipment. We don't have Jamboards, but the Jamboard app is available. It's available for free. Jamboard.google.com. It's essentially Google's version of a whiteboard. But just like most Google things, it is collaborative. So it doesn't have a whole lot of bells and whistles to it. It's got some drawing tools over on the side, and you can pick a couple of different pens. So you get a pen, a marker, so there's the pen, so a little bit thinner, markers, a little bit thicker. Then you've got the highlighter, so you're going to have a little bit of opacity there. And then you've got the actual paintbrush, which is thicker, right? And so you have some colors you can choose from, not a lot. You have an eraser, you can select, but it's collaborative. So I took this Jamboard and I shared it on my iPad. And so I'm just signed into the Chrome extension, the Chrome browser on my iPad. And now I'm on my other computer on my iPad and I can draw. So if I am walking around my classroom with my iPad, if I didn't want to actually just mirror, I could do my math problems. I could do whatever I wanted to do that way. So it's one way, it's a whiteboard. But so I can come up here to the top where it says expand frame bar, and I can give myself an additional frame. So I can have multiple frames in my whiteboard, so I don't have to erase them to get a fresh whiteboard. You also have the ability to bring in images, or you can make sticky notes. So think about something like a Padlet. So here is the link to today's YouTube video. So if I came in here and I click save, and it just gives you the opportunity to make more and more and more. You can have a lot of different sticky notes on one Jamboard. We don't allow Padlet in my district because we're a walled garden and it violates our walled garden. But a Jamboard saves into Google Drive. It gets filtered the same way our Google domain does. And it's collaborative. So I could come in here on my other device and I could pick a different color and I could add a sticky note and eventually it will pop up at some point. Oh, you know what it is? It's back over here. There it is. It's on the wrong page because I didn't advance my page. But so you can duplicate, you can delete, you can organize a lot. I've seen people actually do this to organize like their to-do lists. They'll make their to-do lists in a board like that. But so you also have a little laser tool if you ever wanted to, use that as a pointer. If you actually had access to a real Jamboard, you could click open on a Jamboard and then it'd be on the fancy Jamboard. But this is also very handy to use with Google Meet and gives you an opportunity to have an embedded whiteboard in a Google Meet. So that is Jamboard.
All right, I'm going to jump in here and talk about Google Meet, and then we're going to turn it over to Mari and let him go. All right, so this is Google Meet. A lot of you will be using it to communicate with your students that are working remotely. I think that most of you have seen now that in Google Classroom, you do have the option now to have your Google Meet link in your Google Classroom in the banner. Now, make sure somebody is reviewing those restrictions and things like that. And Google actually just sent something out. Was that yesterday, Wanda? Did you see that release they had?
Yep.
About Google Meets. So they're actually going to make it a little safer for us. So that's a good thing. But in Google Meets, in your Google Classroom, in the banner there, you can have, if your district approves it, you can have your meeting link there. If you click on the gear, you have the option to turn it off and to refresh it and do all that. Other ways you can get to it is to simply click a tab, type in meet.google.com, and it will open you up a Meet, and you can start a Meet live from right there. Or anytime that you create a calendar invite now and you add somebody to it, it generally always creates a Meet link for you, which I have Zoom that I use a lot, so that causes me some problems sometimes. So this is kind of the steps that we tell our students to go through to join a Google Meet. So they go to their classroom, they click on the link. All right, after they click on the link, they are going to get this pop-up the first time. All right, on this pop-up, they have to allow their microphone and their camera so that they can come into the meeting. All right. If not, it'll just come in and it'll be a blank screen. So they'll hit allow there. Microphone, very important. We tell our students that they should come in with it muted because this teacher may be having a conversation or something may be going on and you don't want to be rude. So if the camera is white, like you see right here, and or the microphone is white and the camera is white, they are both on. Notice, ask to join. They haven't joined yet. If you click that, it will turn red and you'll have a line through it. The microphone is now off. I think there's a shortcut for that. Is it Control M? Is that right, Wanda?
I don't remember.
There is a shortcut for that. I used to use it. I don't remember what it is. After they set that, then we tell them to hit the Ask to Join button so then they can join the call. But let them know they are live in the call then. So if they left the camera on, as soon as you come in, you're going to be in there and everybody's going to see what's behind you or your wires that are hanging down over here. Okay. So just know you're in the classroom then. Microphone again. It is on right now. They can click it to turn it off, on and off. That's where they'll use that. The phone right here will allow you to disconnect. So click that at the end to disconnect. The camera, that's where you turn it on and off at, right there. And then we have closed captions. So if I actually turn the closed captions on in a Meet, it doesn't work. I'm sorry, it doesn't. It tries, but it doesn't. Now my
Not
buddy
with your accent. It's not going to
no,
get it. It
no,
doesn't
no,
speak
no.
Tennessee.
I was told the other day by a gentleman that they make this something for students with disabilities and that I should try it and it might pick up my language then. And I was like, really? Really? Thanks. All right. For some reason, if the students need to present their screen, they can click the present now. So if you want them to show something, they can hit that and then they can do their window or entire screen. There's also the three dots over here. That's where they can change their camera settings, their microphone settings, things like that. All right. So I know a lot of this is trivial, but this is something you can take and you can share with your students. When they get finished, they hit the red phone, it will hang up. Okay, that will end the call. They'll get the screen. I've never filled it out, but that's the end, and that's what it is. So, Wanda, you got anything before we throw it to Mari?
Just that there's a lot of new features coming, especially as we get closer to the start of the school year. There's some really cool things coming down the pike. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, I know you are, Wanda, but I'm
I
not because
know.
I don't have enterprise. All right, so that's one thing you do need to know. Is your district a Google Enterprise district or are you the Google Basic district, meaning the free district? Because if you don't, all the cool features, the cool kids like Wanda, all the things they're going to have, we're not going to have, which I understand. Google provides the service for free. But anyways, sorry, Wanda.
That's all
Cool
right.
kid. You're the cool kid. All
Hey,
right, Mari, I'm going to
lucky.
throw it. I'm going to throw it to you, and your screen is live, Mari. So thanks for joining us today.
Okay, thank you. If you want to, just to kind of start off, if you want on the slide deck, there's a short video on it.
Yeah.
If you want to play that, before we play it, I can go ahead and kind of give an intro. Our school, about 3 years ago, I guess now, my principal asked me to be the new technology teacher at our school. I'd been teaching sixth grade ELA for 7 years. I at first thought that she wanted me out of the classroom so I wouldn't cause any more damage. But that was not the case. One of the things, I wanted to do two things when I started teaching tech. I was a one-to-one teacher anyway, so Google Classroom and everything was kind of secondhand to me anyway. But I wanted to redo the website, and I also wanted to have a YouTube station. I am one of those. I started from ground zero and built what we have today. So to kind of give you an idea of what we have at our school, I'm going to show you this quick PSA. When all this COVID mess started, we were in the beginnings of stressing the kids, you need to wash your hands. And of course, they were asking all these silly questions. So we made a PSA about washing hands. And to go to what Wanda talked about, the background that's behind me on this video, I created that on Google Drawings. So if you'll hit that, Lance. It might be too soft.
Mm-hmm.
Here, we can stop it, Lance. That's
Okay.
it. I had an issue with it this morning. It played fine when I did a run through. Just to give you a rundown of what that is, what we did was we did a press conference where I came forward and made an announcement that we needed to wash your hands for 20 seconds with warm water with soap. So then we had an audience of kids as reporters asking questions like, how long do we have to wash our hands? Well, what if I'm not sick? Should do I have to wash my hands? And then it was like 2 minutes, but it reinforced to the kids, and it brought the kids in, and it was a really fun way. So to give you a little rundown of what we have, and I should be, am I good? Let me see. Yeah. Okay. The why we created a YouTube network at our school, these are all the TV shows we have. We have a weekly show down in the bottom left called West Hills Wednesdays. That is shown on Wednesdays in the cafeteria during lunch. It's like our news show. It keeps kids up to date with what's going on within the school. We interview kids who have done great in classes. We have WTN Sports. Parents will send in videos of their kids hitting a home run, scoring a touchdown, whatnot. So kids inside the school can kind of see their classmates doing what they do outside. West Hills Tonight is a show we do on parent nights. We set up in the lobby and interview people. We were very, very blessed. Up at the top, a company in our town bought us a Mavic Pro drone to use with our school, which I absolutely love that thing. But they just wanted us to name it after them in return. So it's called the Teledrone. We use that. One of the coolest things I think we've done is our school health program wanted us to do something with the cafeteria. So we had a show called Tiger Chef where we got 3 students to go into the kitchen in the cafeteria, pair them with a cafeteria chef. We called them the cafeteria master chefs, and they were like mentors. And these 3 kids came in and cooked a meal, and we had judges. It was 45 minutes long. We videoed in the kitchen. Simon Majumdar, for you Food Network people, Simon Majumdar did an intro video for us. It was really cool. That's probably one of the neatest things we've done. Face Your Fears was just a TV show we did during Halloween where we have a teacher in our school that owns like 7 tarantulas for some reason. And she brought one of them in, and we basically videoed teachers who were afraid of spiders holding them. I was one of them, and I was fine until the spider ran off my hand onto the table, and I freaked out. Another thing we have is something called Teacher versus Teacher, which is basically teachers going against each other in challenges. And the kids absolutely love that because they get to see a humorous side of their teachers, and they really like it. West Hills Unsolved Mysteries is another show we do because we had a vandalism issue and no one would come forward with information. So we made West Hills Unsolved Mysteries, and within about 3 days, we knew who had done it because the people came forward because we offered a reward of ice cream in the cafeteria, and they snitched for ice cream. So our plan, and I'll be glad, I'll give this link to this slide deck to Lance after we're done. Our plan basically is all these things. I knew going into it, it was going to cost a lot. So I started fundraising pretty early on. As we say, I begged, borrowed, and stole. I asked industries in our town for money and stuff. So we were very lucky to do that. I use a Padcaster, which basically just uses a regular iPad and holds it like a frame. And a lot of people, when they watch our videos, they're kind of shocked at I guess you could say, the quality of the footage and everything, but it's honestly just shot with an iPad, and then I run it through WeVideo, which is an online editing service that I use, and then I use Render Forest, which is an awesome, if you are a tech person and you just like playing with logos and intros and stuff, Render Forest has a lot of stock intros that the graphics are amazing, and all you do is give them your logo and it enters it into their template they have, and it's just, people go on and on about our intros like I've done something, and I was like, I just put the logo in there and hit finish. We use YouTube for implementation, which is what this is about. It's just easier for kids. The only thing we had to do is I had to go to our tech director for the district and basically clear it with him. But our channel is whitelisted inside our domain, so kids can watch it wherever they want. It's really cool. I guess everything goes full circle. Wanda was talking about Google Drawings. I use Google Drawings a lot for design. I don't use it as much as the kids use it. Most of my WTN logos come from students. It is just like what Wanda said. When I tell my kids we're working on Google Drawings today, it's my favorite Google program, and it's probably one of the students' favorites, because it's just easy. And I always say if you like Google Slides and Google Drawings, it's going to be very easy. I ended up painting a wall in my room for the green screen because it was just easier. I had a curtain hanging up, but our sets kept getting bigger and bigger, so I had needed more room. And then, like I said, I needed furniture, so I commenced the begging and the fundraising. So that's the question everybody asks: how did you pay for that? Walmart has a community grant that you can apply for, and it will actually send you. It's really easy to fill out, and you can actually apply for multiple not loans. You can apply for multiple grants. So I have gotten like $600 or $700 in the past 2 years to help pay for my microphones, my lights, things like that. So the money is out there, and even somebody at Walmart told me a lot of people don't ask. So it's a very good thing for you if you need some extra money for tech to go, because that's one of the things they look for. The only criteria is it has to be a Walmart in your community. McDonald's was opening up a new restaurant in our town, and they were giving money away, and they contacted our school, and we got that. And then my biggest donor at the beginning was an industry in our town called Calsonic Kensei. They're now called Morelli. If you watch any of our YouTube videos, at the beginning it says live from Morelli Studios, and it's because that Calsonic was the big donor and they helped us out a ton. What I would do about fundraising for your YouTube station is ask everyone. I'd be careful about small businesses, because a lot of times small businesses are nickel and dime so much from the chorus fundraisers and whatnot. I went to industries because usually, number one, nobody ever asks them. And industries, frankly, I think like seeing their name on things a little bit more maybe than small businesses. But that doesn't say that I'm not saying don't ask small businesses, just industries. I had better luck with industries. I was very candid with what I was doing. I used letters with letterhead. Also, I made promises. A lot of people said, like, what am I going to get out of this? So we would even create sections of our shows and have sponsorships and whatnot. Okay. This is kind of what Lance was talking about. Our shows are completely student-centered. Adults are not on them. The only time we have an adult on there is during Teacher versus Teacher, or if a club is making an announcement, or I need to talk to a PTO representative. Our breakdown is anchors are 6th graders, reporters and correspondents are the 4th, 5th, and 6th graders, not so much 6th graders. The meteorologist, we have weather on our weekly show. They like being called, sorry. Y'all have a dog and a cat. I have 4 kids. I have, my 4th graders are my weather people. And honestly, the weather is probably we did a vote 2 years ago, and the weather was the #1 feature on WTN because the kids said they don't watch the news and they like knowing, do I need to wear a jacket tomorrow? Is it going to rain? We about caused I don't know. We had a lot of noise in the cafeteria when snow was in the forecast. It was really fun. Like I said, my graphic design team are all kids. The kids come up with, last year I had a video game show that was completely produced by kids. They came up with the show, they came up with ideas, the stories, everything. I literally left the room and they had the kid who, it was his idea. His name was Andy. He was the director. He would find guests. It was completely him. I had to kind of take my hands off of it because I'm a control freak. But they had mistakes and things like that. But I mean, they got better as they went. So that's one thing I liked about it. You are going to have to, when you first start this, as I learned, nobody's perfect. It's a process, and I was looking like we could do something way, way up here. And I was just like, oh my gosh, okay, there's a lot of mistakes and stuff. Teleprompter practice is a big thing. Using microphones, you get what you pay for. Someone told me that. You've got to be careful because some of the microphones aren't that great. I went on Amazon and bought some wireless mics, and they work really well. The kids really like the bloopers. I did one episode where we kept the bloopers in at the end, and they loved, even the teachers, they said some of them will skip everything and go watch the bloopers first. The reading fluency is what it kind of, as an English teacher, reading fluency got to be a bigger deal because reading a teleprompter, you have to teach the kids, you can't read like a robot. As I have to tell myself sometimes, you have to smile when you talk because I'm not a big smiler. Things like that, the kids get better and better, and it's neat to see the kids grow, and it's turned into something awesome. If my principal was here, she would talk a lot about this. It's become a part of our school's culture. A YouTube station for your school, in my opinion, will bring everybody together. In our town of Lewisburg, if you say West Hills, the next thing that usually comes out of someone's mouth is WTN, because we have brought business leaders and state representatives. We've interviewed presidents of companies. We've interviewed owners of companies. We have the Economic Development Board contacted us and wanted us to go into businesses and industries and interview their HR department and ask, what does someone have to do to get a job here? What are the benefits like? It kind of gives real world application to, my son he's 12, he's fixing to be 12. So he got to learn what it's going to be like when he grows up and graduates and what's expected. Empathy is huge, especially now in today's culture. It taught kids to cheer for each other. And it's really neat when a child is on our show in the cafeteria and the whole class claps when they come on TV, kind of like they're a little superstar. And most of all, it's created the kids a standard of excellence, which I'm hoping that rubbed off from me. I always told them we're not going to be perfect, but we need to be as good as we can. So a lot of times a kid will shoot a video and then they will tell whoever's recording it, we need to do that again because that wasn't the best I could do. I know I zipped through that because I could talk about this for an hour. What we did was, let me get back off here. The main thing that I think a YouTube station will do for your school, they will do for a YouTube station for your school, is it gives you a connection, frankly, to the outside world, especially with what we went through the last few months of school. Our WTN did not stop. Kids were sending me videos at my house. I was still editing at home. The principal was sending videos. Teachers, were sending me instructional videos. So the show, as they say, the show went on, and the program I use, WeVideo, is all online and it stores everything online. So it's very easy to use. But like I said, the cool thing about it is that kids are involved in it, and the kids basically drive the show. Because as weird as it sounds, I told somebody the other day, if education was a business, then the kids are our customers. And that's basically the YouTube station in a nutshell. It's not, I don't want to say it's not easy, but I also want to tell people out there, it's not as hard as you might think it is. Because a lot of times it's just us and an iPad and a microphone, and that's it.
Wow. All right.
Like a fire
Cool.
hose.
All right. So, Wanda, what's some of your best content creation tips that you've got for our listeners that are out there?
Well, especially when it comes to kids, I think so much we and I mean, we try to get away from them just being consumers of knowledge. We want them to create knowledge, and by using especially the more visual tools. Not that text is not an important thing, but it engages the kids more if they use something like Google Slides, Google Drawings. They live on YouTube. If they can make a video, if they're making a video about how to do that math problem, they don't look at it as a math problem video. They look at it as, I'm making a video. And so you can have them demonstrate a lot of knowledge, a lot of mastery. So.
Exactly. And that's one of the things that I'd say too is, I know teachers, we really, are big into making sure everything's perfect and right and things like that. Well, we need to set guides for students and things like that. But, at the end of the day, we need to allow them to get out there and create. We've got a couple of questions that's coming in. First off, Mari, I think this is for you. Is what is the difference between a YouTube account and a YouTube station? Can a teacher set up a YouTube station?
I think the YouTube account is basically, if you've got a Google account, you have a YouTube account. Because what I had before is everybody has a YouTube account. A YouTube station is where you are a creator, I would say. I upload all my videos, so I guess I have a YouTube. We call the kids at school call it a YouTube station. They are the one, they tell me more than I have no idea how many is a lot of followers and whatnot. I mean, I just do whatever they say. It's like Wanda said, it's YouTube. They think it's cool that they're on YouTube and how many views they have, whatever that means. A teacher in our district, I think we might be like one of the cool kids, like Lance said, in our district. We have a lot of bells and whistles on our Google. I have my teacher account is my Google account. I wanted it like that. Number one, because I wanted to keep all the kids' YouTube videos protected. And, but to answer her question, anyone can have a YouTube account. I just think a YouTube station, we call it, because it's not really, in this day and age, we don't have a television station, so we call it a YouTube station. But I'd say a YouTube station, the difference is just someone who uploads the videos.
Yeah, and there's also, for those of you out there that don't have editors or nice things like that, there is also a studio editor built into YouTube also. I've never used it, to be honest with you, because I've got other tools that I use, but I do know it's there. We've got a second question here for you, Mari. It says, can you list the equipment that you use to make your videos?
I guess just to be broad, to make the videos, I just use an iPad. When I bought a Padcaster, it came with a tripod. I have a dolly. It came with the frame that the iPad comes in has brackets, so I can screw in I've got 3 different photo lenses. I've got a wide angle, a telephoto, and then just a normal one. I use, like I said, if you get into this, you're going to create a monster. We started with one microphone, and I now have the capabilities where I can mic up to 12 people at once on an iPad, because I kept doing research about splitters, and that's also been the biggest headache, is when you record something and then you get back to school and you go to edit it and the sound's not working, and then you're like, oh, that was a waste of time. But I use the Padcaster iPad, and the equipment I use to edit it is just, I use WeVideo, was the one program that I just caught on really quick, and they have excellent customer service. Just to give them a plug, they have a certification program. I'm a gold educator ambassador. I don't pretend to know a lot about WeVideo. I'm just one of these people. I'm not afraid to break things. But if anybody listening, if you have any like questions and you want me to send you anything, my email is themaurywood@gmail.com. I can, like I said, I can put that into the Facebook page, but I'll answer any questions anybody has. I Zoomed with one of our members a couple of weeks ago that is wanting to start a YouTube station, and I Zoomed with her for, I think, 25 minutes just talking about what we do at our school.
One question I got for you, because you had mentioned the microphones, and I've got 3 Padcasters, I believe, now in our district, but their microphones I don't like.
Are you talking about the wired ones?
Yes, the wired ones. Yes.
And I hate to say it, but they're horrible. I mean,
yeah.
And I told them that we had one that didn't last a month, and then I emailed them, and they sent me another one, and then that one started messing up. So I actually went to wireless mics.
Okay, so which wireless mics do you use?
Altcon or Avoxcon. It plugs into the iPad on the side, just like the wired mic did, and you turn it on, and I love it, because before I was having to be close in proximity because of the wire. Well, now I can be at the back of the gym while our principal is on the stage and put the mic on the podium, and it records just like she's standing right next to me. But I can share those links too. I also have some wireless lapel mics that were, I can't think of the brand name for those, but they like I was talking about, they're on an 18-foot wire, but they split off about halfway. And when we have our talk shows, my 2 hosts use both of those, and it cuts down. I mean, I'm like you said, I've got wires all over the place, but yeah, I completely agree. The wired mic that comes with the Padcaster it's not good. I'm just being real.
There you go. All right. Any other questions out there that you got for Wanda, myself, or for Mari?
I will say, if you want a longer version of this, I am doing this is what I'll be presenting on at your conference, Lance.
Oh, awesome.
So it'll be a little bit. Oh, also, I didn't plug it. I've got a new podcast, the Maury Wood podcast. The first 4 episodes are about the YouTube station. So
awesome.
If you want,
Maury, I need to have you on my podcast, which is Get Inspired and Innovate. So we need to have you on there.
I don't have a podcast.
You don't have it? Well, I've been trying to get you on mine for years now. Maybe we'll eventually get Wanda there. Like I said, the cool kid got the cool Google Enterprise. So anyways, well, thank you guys for joining us today. Again, go to the captain's slide and fill out that application. And for those of you watching it later, we'll post this video on Facebook and send it out for everybody too. But please go fill out the captain application, because we do need help, just as Mari helped us this week. We will meet again in 2 months. But I will probably be contacting the people who volunteered to be captains by then. And maybe we'll have another special guest, and we'll put a poll out there on Facebook again for, what's going on, what do you need help with, because we're going to be right in the middle of things in 2 months. So we start back. Actually, my first day back was Monday. I got a week off, and we're going to be right in the thick of things in 2 months. So we may want to share stories. We may want to have drinks together or something. I'm not for sure at that point. But thank you again, guys, for joining us tonight.
Yep. Night. Mask up.
All right. See you guys.